guys, welcome to week number 2 of my fall programming. It's my deadlift session for the week. Now I didn't end up posting the video from it, but last week when I was pulling after my main top set from the blocks, which ended up being 570 for I think 5 reps. I did a lot of playing around with the high belt placement, George Lunian style, after watching some of his more recent videos. And after probably 20 something sets, just playing around with that new positioning, was really able to lock in really well. And so I kind of spent really the rest of the week reading pretty obsessively, and I ended up picking up a copy of his book. So I'll be following his programming here for the next couple months leading up towards the end of the year, where everything willing, I'll pull at the Deadlift for Dornbecker event. We'll see. Depends on how much work I'll end up having to put into promoting and running that meet. But if everything works out, I would love to pull a 650 deadlift this December. So we will see. But kind of some of the interesting parts of his program is everything is just one top set, and it's all high reps. And so you notice I started off with a very heavy rack pull. I went 655 for a set of 15 reps, and that was, felt really easy during the warm-ups, but just having to work at that upper end rep range is just really fucking difficult, more than I ever expected. But what I did like quite a bit is that it got my glutes firing really well, especially going into the rest of this workout here. And I really liked the overloading I got on my upper back as a result of holding 655 in my hands for 15 reps. And so that will be really exciting to see how that carries over. From week to week, that height of the rack is going to get lower, and you'll notice that my deficit pulls that happen after these box squats here, that moves toward more of a pull from the floor, and that lift ends up moving and taking precedence over the other 2 accessory lifts that are actually placed beforehand. And so after the rack pulls, up next are these deadlift stance box squats. I'm using the safety squat bar as I was for the few weeks before, just to put extra emphasis on my upper back, and also not add any additional stress to my elbows with a lower bar position. I ended up hitting 250 for a set of 16 reps. I thought it was 17 or 18, but we all know that I can't count. So oh well on that. Here you can see the deficit pulls, again with that higher belt position. Worked up to a total of 13 reps here at 355. What you can see is that I'm holding just an awesome back position throughout the entire lift, and these really lit my glutes up. I typically have a hard time feeling a whole lot happening in through my hips. I know that I drive them through to lockout, but they don't typically feel quite as engaged as I did on this set. And I attribute a lot of that to the big sets of 15 and having front loaded the box squats and everything before the actual lift. So the goal of having those 2 movements before this are to put yourself in a fatigued state to where I can actually train and utilize 355 in an effective way. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses from week to week. I think I'll be making about 15 to 20 pound jumps on those each week, until the point that I can no longer progress with things in that order. So I followed that with a sets of 20 on the leg press up to this top set, which is 720 for 20 total reps. I was then running kind of close on time and ended up just finishing with 5 sets of leg curls with the stack, and 5 sets of 10 leg curls with the stack, and 5 sets of 10 close grip cable rows with the stack. Next week I'm going to add in a barbell row as a main accessory movement instead of just hitting the cable, but it was just time constraints at this point and needed to knock things out. So that is it. Really excited to see how this progresses over the next couple of months, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you haven't done so, connect with me on Facebook and Instagram, and check out the gym at savagegym.com.